Hi, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining us on the Dream Show today.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure.
It's been absolutely brilliant. Raymond, I've met you in person in UK, and it's just amazing how you are on stage and how you actually create this frenzy around you. You know, whatever it is that you're selling on stage, people love it. They want to just, you know, queue up and buy it. So we're going to be talking about how you actually create that and how you do that, how you work with people accordingly. So Raymond, before we do that, can I ask you to share your journey? Take us back at those few years of how you actually became an entrepreneur in the first place. What made you do that? What was the situation?
Well, it was I was forced into it because, you see, I was a real nerd in mathematics and physics when I was in school. So I studied at university, graduated as a physicist, but I didn't want to be a physicist. I just got good marks in it. And so I didn't know what to do. So I tried an entrepreneurial venture and it failed. I became a private eye and it failed. I started a soft drink company and it failed. I started a small chain of women's weight reducing salons and it failed. I started importing foreign sports cars and it failed. I started a cosmetics distributing company and it failed. I just didn't know what to do. And one day I was sitting quietly all by myself and I got a message from God that said, like, whether you believe in spirituality or not, I'm not saying anything except I heard a really clear statement inside my head that said, Raymond, you're a teacher. And I didn't want to be a teacher. Teachers earned way less than I wanted to earn, and I didn't understand it. But I started actually teaching not in a school, but in hotels. And I started teaching what I knew entrepreneurially. And you might say, what the heck did you know? You failed in everything you did. I did fail in everything except in real estate. In real estate, I became a multimillionaire. And so I started teaching that. And then when people started asking me to coach them in business, I suddenly realized I had a great deal of wisdom because I'd failed in almost every industry there was. And so I had learned enormously, even though I thought I was a failure. Now I run 40 businesses, brands, and cash-gushing websites. I earn a great deal of money. All my businesses are very, very successful. I coach people around the world. I help them get branded. And my energy comes from the fact that I'm doing what I really, really love to do, my real calling this lifetime. On my tombstone, if it says, Raymond was a great teacher, I'll be happy this lifetime.
That's absolutely beautiful. Oh my goodness. So Raymond, just in that, what you just shared, you failed so many times. What made you get up and start again? I mean, that's a story in itself, because a lot of people, when they come through the first barrier, that's it, they're gone, they give up. What made you keep persisting? What was that? Was it clarity that you really wanted it? Was it a drive inside you? What was it?
Well, I have an answer. I don't know if you're going to like it, but I'll tell you the truth. Every time my business failed, I ran back to mathematics, got a high-paying salary job, paid off my debt, got bored, quit, and started another business. And then when that business failed, I ran back to math, got a high-paying salaried nerdy job, paid off my debt, got bored, quit, started another darn business. And so I wanted to run businesses, but I was no good at it. I didn't have the technology yet. I didn't know what the rules were. And I finally figured out the rules. I have great coaches now. They tell me exactly what to do and I do it. And I am a coach to others, so I'm paying it forward. And that's my life. It's the most wonderful life. I'm 70 years old now. People can't believe I'm 70.
No way. No way.
I have hired, like when I'm at an event, a 3-day event in which there's maybe 10 speakers, people will say that I have the highest energy of any speaker. And when they find that I'm 70 years old, they can't believe it. They're stunned. Kids 20 years old don't have my energy.
Fantastic. Guys on Meerkat, thank you so much for tuning in. Retweet this, reshare this, spread this as much as you can, and I'm sure I'll give you a wonderful bonus for doing so. But hi, Chris Spear. Happy Monday to you too. So Raymond, this is so interesting. So you mentioned a point where you thought, okay, I need a coach, I need a mentor. Was that your turning point? Is that important thing for people to understand, that you do need a mentor, you do need a coach, or can you do it without it?
The turning point of my life came at age 39. I was 100,000 pounds in debt. I was depressed. My boss had just fired me. I was 50 pounds overweight, it's about 4 stone.
Goodness.
And I went home and told my wife that I was unemployed and sick and depressed. And she did the only thing a reasonable woman could do. She dumped me out of our marriage. And I was also behind on my child support payments because I had no money and I was drowning under this gigantic debt. I couldn't make my interest payments. I couldn't do anything. I lost all my real estate in the divorce battle. And I did the only thing that 39-year-old life losers know how to do well. I called my mother. And if she had not readmitted me into the bedroom that I grew up in, I would also have been homeless. And you see me now as a big success, but at age 39, I was just going straight downhill. I mean, 100,000 pounds in debt, no income. It was horrible. And I was sitting on a park bench and a guy sat beside me and he said, he's a coach. And I was rude to him because all my stupid friends were rich by age 39 and all my high IQ friends were all teaching and were all broke. And so I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out, if I've got such a high IQ, how come I'm broke? How come stupid friends of mine are rich? Why is this jerk sitting beside me calling himself a coach? I told him, go away and help kids with pee-wee soccer. What do I care?
That's
and
amazing.
I finally said, I don't help kids. I don't coach kids. I coach adults like you getting rich in business. I said, okay, take me on. I'm yours. And he took me on because he said, if he can help a loser like me, he's going to have the greatest testimonial that anyone could ever have. And he taught me the rules. He taught me the rules of branding. He taught me the rules of getting out of the sea of sameness. He taught me the rules of business and life because I was doing everything wrong. Nutritionally, I was fat. Matrimonially, I was dumped. Vocationally, I was fired. Like I did every single thing wrong, even though I had a high IQ. And so it doesn't matter how smart you are, how good looking, how tall you are, what your skin color is. None of that matters. What matters only is whether you're doing things correctly. And when you're in your own fog, it's foggy. And the way you get out of your own fog is to have somebody smart who's been there, who knows how to do it, who can help you. And that's what a coach is. And that coach helped me. Since then, I've always had 1 or 2 coaches. At the moment, I have one amazing coach, and I turn it forward and help others by coaching others as well.
Okay, Raymond, we've got a question in. Do you have any kids while you're doing that? In your process, did you have any kids in the?
I have 2 amazing daughters. They're age 14 and age 34.
Right.
And I have 2 stepdaughters in their 40s, and I have 4 grandchildren.
Wonderful, excellent. Okay, so that gives you an idea, guys, that Raymond had responsibility, pressure as well, while he was on his journey. But Raymond, now you're going back. Okay, now looking forward, as you are successful now, when you go back, you connect the dots, right? When you connect the dots, tell me, was there anything that you could have done different to avoid the failure, or did you have to go through that process to find what it is that you were looking for and what was going to work for you? Tell me these 2 things. How did you differentiate? What is it? Tell me what the magic is in the journey of it.
The magic was, you see, because my IQ was so high,
right?
I admitted to Mensa, top 2% of IQ in the world, have a degree in physics. I figured I'm Mr. Big Shot. I know it. I got it. I'm there.
Yeah.
And so I thought I didn't need anybody. I thought that I could do everything by myself. I thought I was so smart, I could figure it out. And it took till age 19. I was one of the youngest graduates in the entire history of the University of Toronto in physics. It took from age 19 to age 39 for me to finally give up and realize I was doing it wrong. I thought I was doing every action I took, like I'd get into my car, I'd put the key in, I'd turn it, the key would turn on, the engine would turn on, I would drive on the correct side of the street. Like if I look at each individual thing I did moment to moment, it all seemed correct. But at the end of the year, I was further and further in debt and I kept getting fired and it was horrible. And so the biggest magic is that I got out of my own way and allowed a coach into my life who is where I wanted to be, and he told me what to do. And every single thing he said was the exact opposite of everything I believed. He would say things that just sounded crazy to me. But then he was right.
So you became coachable, basically. Is that what it is? Do you know what? That is such an important message for my viewers, guys, because students of mine as well, you know, you've got learned behaviors, right, Raymond? You know, from your upbringing, from your society, you get all these conditions put into you, learn all these things, and you think you're doing right because you don't know any different. But when you actually hire a coach and they tell you different, you have to literally submit. You have to, you know, you have to, it's submission, isn't it? You have to submit and say, look, you know, I don't know it all. I'm coachable. You tell me what to do, right? That's wonderful.
I say to people, let's say I'm teaching in England, I'll say, what time do you get up? And everyone will agree that they get up somewhere around 7 or 8 o'clock. And I say, when do you start work? And they all agree they start work around 9 o'clock. And I say, men, what do you wear? And they all agree that they wear suits. And I say, so, and then I go on and on like that. And eventually I say, so it sounds like you're doing everything the same as everyone else in your group, in your socioeconomic group. They say, yeah. And I say, do most Brits, or actually do most people in any developed society, do most Americans, do most Canadians, do most Aussies, do most Kiwis, do most of them die rich or broke? And everyone says broke. I said, then why are you trying to be like them?
Yes.
Why are you trying so hard to do everything exactly the same as people who are going to die broke? Why? And you're trying to die rich? I don't get it.
That's amazing. That's so interesting to know that. Right, so Raymond, if we can move on, because I know we've got a short time here and I want to get as much as out of you as possible on the show. But guys, bring the questions on and I'll take them as I go along, okay? I promise, as much as I can. But Raymond, so tell me, what changed when you had a coach then? Did he teach you how to visualize? Did he teach you goal setting? What did he teach you that made a difference? Or did he teach you something else?
The biggest thing he taught me is I had to be branded.
Right.
Branded, what the hell's that? Like, I knew Nike was branded and Apple was branded and Google was branded, but their brand didn't make any sense to me. Like, Nike has a swoosh or a tick, and if I put a big tick on my forehead, I wouldn't be branded. Like, it didn't make sense to me. I knew Kellogg's was branded and Lamborghini was branded, but I thought branding was only for giant corporations. I didn't know it was for individuals. And as soon as I learned that, and as soon as I got branded, and typically I got branded by writing a book, suddenly my income skyrocketed. I started doing things differently than the masses, and people started following me and wanting to buy products from me. And whoa, where did this come from? But nobody wants to buy from someone who's average. No one wants to buy from people who are exactly the same as everybody else.
Yeah. That's a really good point. So Raymond, there's a red ocean strategy and a blue ocean strategy, right? So in the blue ocean, how do you get branded then? I mean, do you do it through your story? Do you do it through who you are? Is it your identity that you're putting forward? What is it? How do you stand out and create a blue ocean strategy for what you're doing?
Well, the interesting thing is that there's many things you can do.
Sorry, Raymond, the mic's being covered, Raymond. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
There's many things you can do, but most of them don't do much. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
So, for example, you can start a blog, but nobody cares.
Yes.
I mean, I don't mean you shouldn't start a blog, and I don't mean it's bad to, but no one says, oh my gosh, let's buy from Princess Fizz. She has a blog. Like, blogs aren't it. And ebooks aren't it. Yes, they're good for lead generation, but no one says, oh my gosh, Raymond has an ebook. Like, no one cares. And heck, they don't even care if you win a gold medal in the Olympics, but they do care if you've written a book. And so I teach people how to write a book. And it's a daunting enterprise. Writing a book, oh my gosh, I don't know enough. I can't do it. English isn't my first language. But I've created a template. And it's like a paint by number. You play a video, you do the homework. You play the video, you do the homework. You play the video, do the homework. And I assign someone to you to hold your hand to make sure you understand every single thing. You get all your questions answered. And when you played the last video, you're holding your book in your hand. And then people say, oh my gosh, you've written a book? Wow. And here's my rule. When someone says wow about you, you're branded. That's how you know when you're branded. People say, oh, I'm branded or I'm not branded, or Apple's branded, but that's all baloney because they don't know the definition. The definition is, if someone says wow about you, you're branded. So when you personally, go up to someone and says, "Hi, my name is Princess Fizz," they typically say, "Wow," because it's so startling.
Yes.
And you're very beautiful and you have a show. And so they say, "Wow," because you're branded. And if you have a book, they say, "Wow." And if you, like when you said to me you wanted me to be on your show, I said, "Wow." So the first wow gets you branded. Every wow after that shines your brand. And so for me, you have a really, really shiny brand because I've said wow about you many times. And the company in the world for which more people in the world have said wow about than any other company that's ever existed is Apple.
Absolutely.
Everything's so beautiful that people say wow. And so when you, and I don't mean you personally, I mean you and all of your listeners, when you want to be branded, that was when you want to make more money by being branded, when you want to have money coming in effortlessly by being branded, you just have to say to yourself, am I doing those things that have people say wow in the first several seconds? And you might say, well, I can't do that. I don't even have a book. Yeah, you can, because if I'm your coach, I can tell it to you right now. There's 8 words. Here it is. I am the author of the upcoming book on, and whatever it is, on plumbing, on dental hygiene, on chiropractic subluxations, whatever the heck your shtick is, you can say right now these 8 words. I am the author of the upcoming book on, and as soon as you say that, people will say the 3-letter magic word, wow. And then you write a book by yourself, or I'll teach you how to write a good book, and all of a sudden you're branded. All of a sudden people say wow about you, and I teach you how to get them to say wow about you 31 times in a brief conversation, and you are branded, and people will be giving money to you in the first conversation you have with them.
Do you know what, Raymond, you're absolutely remarkable. And the stuff that you're giving is so much wisdom. Out of everything that you've chosen the strategy of book. So having your own book is most important to brand yourself and spread your message. Okay, now Raymond, I had a competition running just before the show, and the prize was that you would actually brand someone live, right? So I'll give you just a quick scenario of who she is and where she's from. She won the competition. Her name's Brenda. Thank you so much, Brenda, for entering the competition and winning. Raymond, she's a florist. She's a florist, okay? And she sells flowers online, and she exports them from Spain, right? And the magic touch is she writes a Spanish message, okay, in calligraphy with the bouquet of flowers. So it makes it personalized. So how can she asked, how can she brand herself and stand out from the rest of the people?
Okay, one of my great abilities is
yes, I
can title and subtitle a book in a second.
Yes.
So I haven't even spoken to her, but here's an example of the title of the book that I would suggest to her.
Yes.
Book on flowers.
Hold on, Raymond, you've gone quiet.
Oh, yeah, the book on flowers.
No, it's okay, yes.
The book on flowers, and the subtitle, How to Wow Your Woman.
Wow.
So, from now on, instead of Brenda saying, what's your name, Brenda? What do you do? I'm a florist. Well, that's deadening because there's 100,000 florists and they're all exactly the same as far as the general public is concerned. So instead of saying, my name is Brenda, I'm a florist, she now says, what's your name? Brenda. What do you do? I am the author of the upcoming book on flowers, subtitled How to Wow Your Woman, and I guarantee you people will say wow. And the instant they say wow, she's branded. And as soon as she's branded, they'll say, well, I would like to wow my woman. What should I order from you? Like within seconds, they want to buy from her. Not because she's saying buy from me, or because roses are really good, you'll be happy, you'll get sex. No, they'll come to her. Hi, I'm the author of the book on flowers, How to Wow Your Woman. Really? Yeah, you order from me, man, your woman will love you. Wow! And I do calligraphy also at no extra charge. I put a beautiful uplifting message in calligraphy. Wow! Well, they've said wow 3 or 4 times, man, they're your client forever.
I love that, Raymond. That was fantastic. fantastic. What a prize to win. Absolutely wonderful. So just out of my, I'm going to speak as a devil's advocate. Raymond, I'm a florist. What the heck do I put in my book? I mean, what do I talk about? Do I talk about relationships? Do I talk about a men's perspective on how to improve relationships? Can I go that direction? Or do I talk about how to put flowers together? What do I talk about?
Okay. So I'm going to give you two answers. The first is the one that you're expecting, and the second is the one you're not expecting. The one you're expecting is all of those topics are really good. What kind of flowers do you suggest for different kinds of occasions? It's different for a wedding or a funeral. And when do you send flowers? Do you send it only on special occasions, or do you just on, you know, when she's not expecting it? All of those are really good, and they'll fill a book easily. But here's the unexpected, and it's embarrassing to say it, but here it is. Brenda, no one's going to read your book. It's unfortunate, but listen to this. 40% of books purchased by the intended reader, like when you yourself, Princess Fizz, go to a bookstore to buy a book, 40% of books actually don't get read, even though the person who bought it wanted to read it.
So right, so right.
And less than 10% of books that you give away are read. So when Brenda says, I'm the author of the book on flowers, and she says, and by the way, I have a copy here, I'd like to give you an autographed copy. Oh my God, thank you so much. They're not going to read it. And so to a large extent, the content doesn't matter much. It's having the book. It's the havingness of the book, not the quality of the content of the book that makes the branding. Of course, I want Brenda to write a good book. Of course, I want Brenda to write a good book. But the giant impact will come from her simply having a book rather than what's in it.
Do you know what, Raymond, this is actually genius, what you just said, because it's about the status, isn't it? It's about entering other, it's like entering opportunities, because a book will give you opportunities. Just because you're an author, you would get called on radio shows, you'll get called to events. It opens up a whole stream of opportunity, and maybe people might want to joint venture with you just because you've got that status, because it shows that you have made the effort to do something like that.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
It's exactly. And when you take the time to put your values in order, people stand up and salute that. See, if I said to you, Princess Fizz, how do you do it? And you say, well, you know, I dress really pretty, and I got a funny name that people can remember, and okay, and also like if you say that, people know you're making stuff up.
Yes.
But when you take the time to put your values in order, and you call your, let's say you wrote a book called The 7 Ways to Get Branded or something like that. People would say, wow, she put her thoughts in order. This is so impressive. So even if I'm an expert in branding and you wrote a book, The 7 Ways to Brand Yourself, I wouldn't know your 7 ways.
I got it. That's amazing. I love this, Raymond. It's just so, so cool. Now, I'm going to go ahead a little bit more. This has been brilliant. Raymond, tell me about, okay, so I've noticed, I meet a lot of wealthy people, interact with them. On their way to wealth and material gain, which is brilliant, they've become successful, I feel sometimes they have a void in their eyes. The spiritual growth hasn't happened alongside that. And I feel that because they're so focused on the material gain, they haven't grown that side of it. And maybe things are catching up with them. They feel empty, alone. Can you talk about those, what happens there? Because I know some of my audience are really doing well, but they seem a bit empty inside. They've still got that empty feeling. What do they need to do to fill up that void? What is that void in the first place?
Well, I can answer it very easily. It's easy to understand our life, our physical mortal life, not our spiritual life, but our physical mortal life is a duality. In other words, you throw a ball up and it comes down. A tree grows and then it dies. You're fresh in the morning, you're tired at night. You get sick, then you get healthy. There's always a duality, an in and out, a flow. And when people are just making money, that means they're breathing in. They're taking money in. But if they don't breathe out, they'll die.
Yes.
And so what I mean is you have to not only create, you have to destroy. You not only take in, you have to take out. And so when you earn money, you also have to give it out. You have to appreciate. You have to give back. And the way that you do that is both appreciating in language. In other words, Princess Fizz, this is the best interview I've ever had. You're the most gorgeous gal I've ever met. You're more bubbly and enthusiastic than any person I've ever met. That's called giving back verbally. But you also have to donate. You have to donate your time. You have to donate your money. You have to donate your energy. You have to donate your, if you have a brand, you have to donate that. In order to give back, you can't just take money in. You have to give money out. And when you give money out to buy goodies, you're not appreciating, you're depreciating. Like if I buy an expensive suit, it falls in value the first day I put it on. If I buy a restaurant meal, it falls in value the first time I take one bite out of it. If I buy a car, it depreciates in value. So I have to appreciate. I have to give to things that grow, and things that grow are charities. When I donate, say, $100 to a charity, I build a well in Africa that allows 100 people to live. That's appreciating. But if I buy another car, that's depreciating.
I got that. That's so beautifully explained. And I think the way that we're wired and law of nature as well, we get full fulfillment when we give as well, isn't it? It's like that's what fills that void up. Because so much you can buy materially. I mean, they become toys afterwards, don't they? But
you have to remember, it's not just nice, it's mandatory.
Yes.
I told you you need a lot of oxygen and you kept breathing in nonstop, you die. You also have to breathe out. It's mandatory. Our duality physical universe requires us to take money in and give money out. We have to do it.
Excellent, excellent, Raymond. Okay, we're going to take a couple of questions before we wrap up. We've gone to 14 minutes. Can you believe that, Raymond? Time just flies. Right, okay, we've got Matthew coming in live from UK. Thank you so much, Matthew, for joining the I Have a Dream show today. He's saying in internet age, it's very, very easy to make money fast without the self-discipline. And what would you advise someone that's made money fast but hasn't got the self-discipline and causes chaos with that money instead? That's actually true, Raymond. Really, really good question, because I know people that win the lottery and things like that. They haven't got the discipline. They haven't got that hardship of making that money. And they end up broke afterwards as well, you know, within 2 years or something. So can you tell me what goes on there? What's your advice there?
Now, I'm not against divorce. I'm not against women getting money in a divorce. And so I want you to hear me clearly. When a woman gets money in a divorce, legitimately, okay, legitimate, completely honorably and legitimately, but she got it legally, but she didn't get it entrepreneurially.
Yes.
You might have been a stay-at-home mom taking care of the kids, and suddenly she divorces a high-income guy and is sitting there with a couple million pounds. Well, she got it legally, but she didn't earn it in the sense of entrepreneurship. She didn't create a value in the universe. And I'm not putting women down. I want to make sure they don't mishear me. And typically what happens is she loses it because she didn't know how to earn it. And when someone wins a lottery, every newspaper in the world interviews them a year later and is always shocked that the person's broke because they did legally earn that money. They made it. They bought a ticket and it turned into $1 million, but they didn't know entrepreneurially how to earn it. Yeah. And so they lost it. If you don't know the rules of money, you lose it. And there are rules of money. There are rules of income. There's rules of branding. There's rules of economy. There's when you spend, when you economize. And typically the biggest error people make is when they get into a condition called affluence, that means a sudden increase in income and net worth, the first thing people do is spend. But in the condition of affluence, the first rule is to economize. And so if you don't know the rules, you screw up. And you just have to know what the rules are. I know what the rules are in the spiritual universe and in the physical universe. I make money in the physical universe, but a lot of the money I make is because of the spiritual understanding. I can postulate money. I make a statement. I just postulate $100,000 coming in, and it comes in, and I teach people exactly how to do that. In fact, I'm holding a huge event. My annual gigantic event is coming up. And can I just tell people about it?
Absolutely, you can.
It's called Create Your Own Economy, and it's both physical and spiritual. Create Your Own Economy. The website, please write it down, is yourwealtheconomy.com. Yourwealtheconomy.com. And it's so successful. I've been holding it annually in Toronto for the North American and South American market. But this year, for the first time, I'm holding it not only in Toronto for the Americas, I'm holding it in London, England for Europe, Africa, and Asia. And both of them are filling up like crazy. I bring in amazing superstar speakers. I always have at least one speaker from The Secret, because I was filmed for the movie The Secret. And I teach all the physical universe laws, all the branding laws, all the spiritual laws. And for those of you who are listening live, it's coming up end of September in London and beginning of October in Toronto. Just go to yourwealtheconomy.com and get it. If you're listening to this through the magic of replay, then we might have passed those dates, but I have another one every 6 months. So please go. It's very inexpensive, and I give gigantic value. You'll absolutely love it.
Do you know what? That's absolutely beautiful, Raymond. And guys, I'll put that link below on the replay, and you'll get that out on email as well. So make sure you check your emails for that information. But Raymond, I mean, all I can say is, I mean, with these shows, Raymond, the mission statement here for the show is that I want viewers to create that one change they require, right? That will bring change in their personal and business life, transcending to generations, right? So if someone was to ask you, Raymond, on the road, what is that one change I need that will actually transcend to generations, what would you say that is?
My children will forget much of what I say,
Right.
but they each have a copy of my books.
Yes. I love that. So leave your mark with a book. That's brilliant. And Raymond, as you are on the I Have a Dream show, can I ask you to share your dream with the audience, please?
Yeah, I do have some dreams. I have 3 things that I want to produce this lifetime. One is great teacher. I'm doing a great job at that. Another is great father. I'm doing a great job at that. And another is great husband. And if whoever gives my eulogy says Raymond was a great father, a great husband, and a great teacher, then when I'm floating around near the ceiling of the synagogue and I hear those 3, I will know that I've had a great life.
That's absolutely beautiful. There you go, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and staying on board. I might even speak to Raymond about maybe a giveaway ticket or something like that for the live event in UK. I'll keep you updated on that.
I will allow you to give away 5 tickets for Toronto and 5 tickets for England.
Wow, free? Free tickets? Oh, yeah. That's absolutely brilliant. There you go, guys. I made a deal live on the show that you can actually win 5 tickets.
So I don't know how we're going to do that, but yeah. I will get you those 10 tickets, and you can figure out how to do your draw. Okay. And in any case, if they don't win, they can go to yourwealtheconomy.com and get it. It's very inexpensive.
Oh, that's perfect, Raymond. Thank you so much. And guys, you know, dream big, take massive action, make those dreams come true, so I can bring you on the I Have a Dream show one day and share your journey with the world. Thank you so much, Raymond. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you.